Have you been looking for something loud, funny, candid, and raunchy? Well, you're in luck, baby. This is Drag from the Left. Drag from the Left. A weekly digital series where we discuss RuPaul's Drag Race and socio-political issues from a radical leftist perspective. Black queer feminism. Yeah, we talk about it, but we have fun. One of the most unique podcasts on the internet. This is Drag FTL. And here are your hosts, a drag queen and educator, Juanita Bindum, and a historian and writer with their Masters in American Studies, Avery Ware.
Tea and coffee. I like coffee and tea.
What's that damn song?
The Java Jive. That's the Java Jive.
There's a song named Coffee by Miguel. I can't remember how it goes, but it's a really good song.
My favorite song about coffee is Black Coffee, sung by Sarah Vaughan. Ugh. Talk about just like in your soul. God bless. My Twitter name, before I tried to like get a little bit more anonymous, my bio was like Sarah Vaughan Soul Child, was like one of my little tags in there.
Okay.
But I be posting my pussy online too much, so I had to.
Girl, you've been wilding out lately. I've been seeing it. I
had realized
she coming that way.
Yeah, that way.
I be saying that all the time now. I was like, oh, she coming that way. Don't nobody ever know what I'm talking about.
Don't nobody know what you're talking about.
It's Alyssa Edwards reference. They don't know.
People don't know. We are back rows again. It's been a minute since I've been here. How you doing, sister?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back in the studio. You know, living, working, trying to stay alive.
Ooh, child. Working hard for the money. Still ain't got no money.
Working hard for little money. Working very hard for little money.
Right. They don't.
And they don't. Right. And they don't do it.
And don't.
They don't do it.
And don't. I'm so excited to be here. On my way here this morning, I was thinking like, do you know how to do a podcast? Do you remember how to podcast?
How do you do this?
How do you know?
It's been so long.
I'm so confused. But I think I remember it starts a little something like this. Welcome back, everybody. You are tuned into Drag from the Left, your weekly digital series where we discuss RuPaul's Drag Race and relevant social issues from a radical leftist perspective. This is a pro-black podcast. This is a fuck the police podcast. This is a Black Trans Lives Matter podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, the very Reverend Dr. Juanita Bindum.
And this is Avery. I don't have a drag name this week.
Oh, girl.
I didn't think of one. And it's the finale, so I should have had a really good one. But
yikes. Well, if you're missing Avery's drag names, there's a compilation, a bukkake party, an audio bukkake of Avery's drag names that our lovely editor Darian put together for us. You can check those out on YouTube or anywhere where podcasts are streamed. The episode is labeled and you can find it there. So let's get into it. There's been a lot of things going on in the world since we've been in this studio. Let me go through a few. Nicki Minaj's and if you don't know, cousin's friend, auntie's uncle cousin,
baby daddy's
sister,
stepchild.
Balls done swole up so big, and now they done left
from the vaccine.
From the vaccine, allegedly, this girl got the prime minister, of Trinidad.
The hellfire that transpired after that tweet,
it just kept tumbling.
Blowed my mind. I mean, it didn't, because that's the nature of celebrity culture and sensationalism and all that shit. And rape culture, because as we know, if you don't know, a lot of this, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion online, is a deflection from that very serious allegations that have been alleged against Mrs. Petty and Mr. Petty.
Right away.
It's not the vaccine, baby.
It's not the vaccine, baby. You done dipped your little coffee stirrer in the wrong pot. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
And it's probably treatable, so go ahead and get treated.
Oh, child, everything treatable now. It don't make the medical advancement for sexual health. We doing some things. They got a new long-term acting medication out now, so people that have trouble adhering, instead of taking a pill every day, they can get a monthly shot. So it's kind of like, think like Depo, but for like HIV treatment. So like you get a shot in your little butt, and child, my job done got real. They're trying to get spicy with the pepper now on Instagram. The person volunteered to have a picture taken with a little butt out while they was getting a shot, and the internet done went ham.
Of course.
Okay.
Do we got
ham,
cakes?
macaroni and cheese, and grits for these white asses. Okay. This
they
is the
white. Of course they are.
it's not the booty. The booty
Is
is
it fat? Is it nice?
I mean, it's not flat.
Okay.
So it's it's okay. But I'm just like, if you want to get some booty models, you should have called me. Okay, girl.
Baby, you looking at the wrong place.
You're looking at the wrong place.
Hey, caught your act from the left, girl. We got you.
We got booties over here.
We got booty. If there's one thing I got, it's cheeks.
Okay. Ooh, have you listened to the Lil Nas album? Please tell me you did.
Of course I did. It is a perfect 10 out of 10 album.
Yeah, I listened to it through and through from the beginning to end, and I was like,
I love it so much.
it's so good.
I love it so much.
This is the type of pop music that I'm excited to hear.
Lil Nas X is an artist. And like people get it confused because a lot of his shit is skeptical. Like a lot of it is just like for her to get people in uproar, to cause, to drive viewers.
Well, he a
visibility
troll.
or whatever. He's a professional and very good troll.
Yeah.
Right, and does it all in good fun.
I think he comes up with a lot of this social media strategy on his own too. This is like high level marketing social media strategy, in my opinion.
To me, this comes from his troll ass young mind.
They're the best at this stuff. They invented it.
The babies are great at it, and so not only that, but the album is quality music. It is not no pop like Nicki Minaj Anaconda shit.
Now that was legendary. Now I do not want the girls coming for me after listening to this episode. I already done talked about the balls.
Come for me if you want to, because Nicki Minaj came out as a freestyle rapper, and then she crossed over into skeptical. Right?
That's the genre.
That's what it was. I'm just being honest about the shit. That's what we do in this podcast. We keep it honest.
Okay.
But Lil Nas X, he said, I'm gonna keep y'all gagging, I'm gonna keep y'all laughing, but don't forget, I am an artiste.
I just want to say that
and I do this rap shit.
I
respect him so much.
Existing in the world how I do, it is so like can bring tears to your eyes that at 26 years old, that now I'm feeling like that little happy kid feeling, like when you turn on the music videos and like they doing the thing and it's like for you. We didn't have that. You know what I mean? Now we had stuff that was for the culture. You know what I mean? It was plenty of stuff. And I get down with the get down of the 90s and early 2000s.
Hello.
I mean, black music was doing what black music was doing. It was popping off.
Absolutely.
But when we intersect that with like queer identity, it was a lane that had not had a car to drive down it in a minute.
Right.
At least not this loud with the horn just beeping and blaring top
not
down.
On this mainstream level,
okay.
Not at all.
So it's really nice. And this TRL sounding early music video song, I need somebody to love me. I need somebody to hold me.
That's my favorite song on the album.
That's my favorite song too.
That's What I Want is my favorite song. Is That's What I Want? Or
I think that's what it's called.
I think it's called That's What I Want, and Lost in Citadel.
These are
my favorite songs.
When I saw Mama hand that guitar and he was coming out in that wedding dress, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, I have to plan my wedding right now. I need to know what kind of wedding dress, because for a fact that at my wedding, Alex will have a gown moment.
Oh, absolutely.
The gown.
I would expect nothing less.
Oh, I'm so excited about it. I'm like, I literally was just thinking like, I don't care who the motherfucker is at this point. To be completely honest, I just
need to wear the gown.
I'm looking for the gown, mama. Okay, I want the gown. Ooh, child. What else is going on? Oh, the VMAs happened. Shout out to motherfucking Chloe Bailey.
Another baby that is doing what needs to be done.
The spirit of Sasha Fierce entered that body.
That is Beyonce's child.
Okay, her and Halle are just like on another level. None of the girls are seeing them for anything. I don't care which girl it is. None of them can see Chloe or Halle.
Vocally, musically, technically,
the outfits, the choreography, the skin, okay,
the skin, the hair, the presence,
the attitude, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I have no words. Like,
people tried to play her online for a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it in detail, but I don't know if you saw that picture when they zoomed in on her. Well, pretty much her tampon was showing and like a little bit in the one picture. And of course, somebody online had to just be vile, you know what I mean, and trifling and trying to zoom in. You can see it's to me, it was like the equivalent of like the Janet nipple slip. Like nobody really saw it unless you were like looking, you know what I mean? And she went off. And also, guess what? people menstruate and people.
She's a human, and she has to take care of that shit when it needs to be taken care of. Would you rather you see blood coming out her crotch?
I mean, and sis went off regardless, so I didn't have no.
And she still ate.
And she ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, baby.
Tampon or not, she ate.
Okay, tampon gate. Okay, they wanted to make it a whole thing.
Video, live performance.
The vocal that she delivered when she threw her body to the ground, it reminded me of Beyonce's 2006 performance
Deja Vu.
Of Deja Vu.
BET Awards.
BET Awards.
And that's
2006 in that silver dress. Oh god, she threw her body to the floor
and sang.
Convulsions.
Insane.
Convulsions.
Oh my god.
Now, this is what I be trying to tell people. You can't tell me that the Holy Spirit ain't real, baby, because I don't know. It might not be what you thought it was, but I'm gonna tell you.
But it's present.
When you feel it, baby,
you feel it.
Okay,
because you don't sing that way out of nowhere. Like that don't come from
that
nowhere.
That is something else.
That is something spiritual. That is something divine that's coming out of your body. And when I say
Shada,
when she flew to the ground and sang that. And dancing full choreography.
I was just like, I was staring at the screen. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I only tuned into the VMAs to see Chloe. That is what I tuned in for me. Yeah. That's what I tuned in for. And I was not disappointed. The minute tickets go on sale to go to see a live performance of Chloe or Halle or together or both, preferably both, the money is already available.
Give me a Chloe and Halle and Lil Nas X tour. And I don't even like concerts, too many people. That's not my tea. But I would go to see those three. Like,
I just cannot.
I would be in attendance to see them babies. I would be right there with Generation X. Is that what they call it? Z?
W?
Generation Z?
I don't know.
Double A? I don't know. The youngins. I would be right there with them. Right there with my college kids. I would be right in the audience with them.
I'm prepared.
Yeah, in my life.
I saw Chloe and Halle perform live once. So the Beyonce performed in Cleveland for the first time since Destiny's Child, other than that Hillary Clinton concert, which I don't really count. That really don't count. And for the On the Run 2 tour, which was, Cleveland was the dress rehearsal. We won't talk about it. I forgive you. You're forgiven. It's okay. But Chloe and Halle opened, and people was like, who is Chloe and Halle? Who is Chloe and Halle?
You
and
know now, bitch.
Now you know.
You know now, bitch.
And this is the power of those girls. They were opening for the Queen, and they performed with everything that they didn't give you no little half show. Beyonce told them they had 23 minutes to do what they do, and they used every single one of those 23 minutes. Choreography, instruments. I think she played the guitar, the piano, and the guitar, live vocals, choreography. And
they produce their own music.
They write it. They do the thing. So,
speaking of Hillary Clinton, something else going on in the world. Have you been watching American Crime Story on FX?
No, I haven't been watching that. It's a new one?
The current season is the first season was about OJ.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Yeah.
It was about OJ. The next season was about the murder of Giovanni Versace.
I remember that one.
Both were excellent. This season is about the impeachment of Bill Clinton.
So this is like Lewinsky and stuff.
Lewinsky scandal. Girl, it is so fucking good. I mean, it's only 2 episodes in, so it might be.
Well, I'm gonna turn it on. I'll watch it. I got stuff to watch.
It is so good, and me, I'm a history girl. So when I realized that that's what the season was about, I dug into the history and I started researching. And Bill Clinton if Bill Clinton had anything, it was audacity.
The cheek, the nerve, the gall, the audacity, and the gumption.
Wow.
Because that white man.
But I feel like, don't they come that way? White, rich.
But even some people have a lane, or they have a stop sign. Bill Clinton didn't have one. Bill Clinton did what the fuck Bill Clinton wanted to do, and got away with it. I mean, he did get impeached. He didn't get removed from office, but he did get impeached. But Bill Clinton's still out here living his life, still married to Hillary, still doing what he wants to do, still rich as fuck. Still very respected.
I mean, if anybody got the bad rap, it was Monica. So, I mean.
If anybody got the bad rap, it was Monica and it was Hillary. They said, you a hoe for doing it and you a dumb bitch for staying.
And he been walking around looking like a moldy piece of bread for at least 10 years now. And he seemed to be doing just fine.
And while I love my hometown hero, Toni Morrison, my favorite author in the world, forever and all time, when she said that was the first black president, that's something I cannot disagree with.
You know what though? She might have just like had a fever, maybe, because I hear that if the temperature rises, you like blurt things out that don't. So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe that, I don't know. And people are not perfect, and everyone does not have the right.
Well, she made up for it when she paid to have a child. Her disdain,
Talk about it.
Her disdain for Lin-Manuel Miranda does it for me.
And that Hamilton shit, she funded the whole play.
Ooh, I'm coughing. Excuse me. You got to edit that out.
Right. We've been talking for a minute. Do we want to get into our what we here to do?
I mean,
our drag race shit.
I hadn't seen it so long. I had to do all this catching up. But since we're on a RuPaul's Drag Race, start your engines. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star
Drag Queen win.
Whatever. They could have at least reproduced the whole song and made it good. Like,
we talked about this already,
so we won't go back. Check out episode I think 2
of this season.
It was there. It's been a while, but there is still, to me, a lot to talk about. So we're going to break it down. All-Star 6, RuPaul's Drag Race. This is America, because it's in so many countries. I want to make people know it's clear.
Yeah, because we got Spain,
they added Italy,
Holland,
they added
UK,
Korea, everywhere.
Italy.
So shout out to that, whatever. We talking about All-Star 6 in the United States of America. Our final 4 that we are left with are Eureka O'Hara, Raja O'Hara, all the O'Hara's girls. We have Kylie Sonique Love and the Ginger Minge. And it is time for them to, we down to the nitty gritty. It's competing for the crowd.
You have to bring the best of the best. It's the last episode, and like all of them have been performing well, aside from Eureka. Like Ginger, Raja, and Kylie have all been performing very well. They all have multiple wins under their belt. Eureka has 1 win, but like she's been pretty middle of the road for me. Like, they've been talking about Eureka like she's on the same level as the other 3. And I was like, she's been kind of okay. But that's just my own personal feelings.
And honestly, her winning her way back into the competition, when I judged that final lip sync after Silky had dusted like 12 bitches back to back.
And dusted sufficiently. Because we didn't get to talk about this episode. But shout out to Silky
Nutmeg Ganache,
because that bitch did that shit.
Oh, she ate.
She did that shit.
And made a drink for herself to wash it all down, baby.
It was the forethought. It was the intention. It was the intellect. It was the passion. She gave it all. And did she have a slight advantage because she knew what was coming before the other queens knew? Yeah, maybe, but this bitch is part of the game.
But she came out the gate with that type of creativity. I mean, her lip sync number 1, she came with the gags and tricks, baby. She was ready.
Yeah.
She was prepared.
Yeah.
And if you actually study Drag Race, when her finale on season 11, she came out with tricks and gags. She had like 4 costume changes, 3. She literally split her wig.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is not a stranger to a gag moment. And she did it so efficiently. In that Game Within a Game episode, I was so proud of her. I was like, look at this bitch.
You know what?
Go. Like, she ate.
This is what Silky deserved. I was so glad that she got an opportunity to really display high drag and to really do what she did the best that she could do it, because there is a whole clan out there that are actively attacking Silky.
Right.
Rather
solely
than
based on her identity.
Exactly. And it's not like that they just don't care for Silky, because that's a whole nother thing. Everybody don't got to be your fave. It don't got to be your
She
team.
wasn't my favorite season 11.
But people are like actively coming and attacking her and also dipping into her bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
During pandemic. And I was so glad. Like, for me, if I owned a club or a bar and I was in charge of booking, she's getting booked. She's getting top bill.
And do one of the 7 songs that you washed
all 7.
In.
And she should literally go on tour with that. She should literally take it on tour.
That leopard print dress with some gloves.
She said we got 2 fat bitches in leopard print.
First of all, she ate that lip sync, but she looked so fucking good.
The proportions of that gown, she looked so good. The gloves, and then I don't know how she fit so much shit in her. She always pulling something out her titty.
She must have had that shit like tucked under.
But can we talk about, this is what we talk about on this podcast, social relevant things. The for me to see her pull things out of her bosom was like a very comforting moment to me.
It was a very cultural
moment.
Yes.
Like, mama, auntie, grandma, they got some coins.
They got something
down in there. during COVID, that's a little shot. It's a little like a little shady. With that during the COVID, but
put some baby powder down there.
A little bit of child. No, talc. Johnson been trying to kill people with that talcum powder. Never mind. Never take that out. No talcum powder.
What show was that? Do you remember that reference? I forgot what fucking show it was. But like
Johnson under Johnson.
Somebody it was they was like put some baby powder down there because they like pulled some money out their bra. And somebody was like put some baby powder down there just because it was kind of wet. It was moist. I don't know where the fuck it was from a show though.
Was it P Valley?
I digress.
I don't know.
I digress. I don't remember where it was from, but I do remember it.
Silky, again, congratulations to you. You ate that stuff up.
Did that.
But that final lip sync between Silky and Eureka, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite lip sync from either of them. And I thought if I judged that lip sync singularly, that it was like a draw. So I would have picked Silky
because she washed the 6 other bitches.
Because she washed the 6 other bitches before her, and Eureka didn't do anything that was just like, oh my god, like. So,
and her wig was falling.
Her wig was falling off. I didn't understand the life alert. I was like really confused. While she was on. Yeah. So, but I mean, she's back. This is the thing though with me. If we go break it down, I'm kind of glad that Silky didn't stay because it gave her like. Afterwards, I think everybody was able, with her elimination then, everybody was able to say, like, good job, Silk. You know what I mean? And she wasn't going to win, and neither was Eureka. Like, it's just very statistically unlikely that either one of them would win at this point. We already know that, at least in my opinion, and Ginger thought that she was going to win. We all know, by at least to me, by the halfway mark, is that it's Raja and Kylie's game. With the edit, if you're following the style of the edit, especially when Trinity didn't make it to the finale. So I was kind of like, it's
that narrowed it down.
It's Kylie or Raja.
It's one of these two. I did genuinely think that Ginger, it felt like they were setting Ginger up to win. But when I talked to my friend Ron about it, he was just like, she won all that prize money already. So like, they weren't going to give her the win and all that money. Like
it was, I think the edit too was trying to like they don't want it to be too obvious, so they were using her to make us
as
think
the
like,
front runner.
Yeah, so, but we knew it wasn't going to be there. But in this finale episode, of course, the theme, they had to re-record RuPaul's Without Them insufficient and corny song and or track that the girls didn't record and I don't think make any money off of once the song comes out in chart tops after they record the verse.
Well, I did see a tweet from, I think it was Shea Coulee.
Did they make money off
that?
That
talked about getting a royalty check from Category Is. I believe that's what it was. And if I'm wrong, I'm just wrong.
I hope so.
But Queen talked about getting a royalty check from a song that they recorded on the show.
Good. Okay. Because I was concerned because like the song don't do what it do until the girls hop on the track.
And we talked about this season 1. I forget what episode, but we talked about season 1 and contracts and them getting paid for these songs that they put so much effort into. But I did see a tweet from a Queen that said they got a royalty check from a song they recorded on the show.
Yeah, I wonder what the percentage is.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder how much it was.
Bussy Queen, where you at, girl? Bussy
right.
Queen, let us know.
You know she know.
Bussy, let us know.
You know her little ass know.
I don't even think it's Bussy Queen. It's Bussy Queen.
Which I said on season 1 irks me.
I think it's so she doesn't get demonetized on YouTube because they demonetize a lot of her videos for saying like sexually suggestive things, which is really just queer language that she's using. We could do a whole episode on that. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have that concern right now. So when we get there,
when we get, that would be a good problem to have once we get there. But we don't have that problem right now.
Not quite yet. So we get to say what we want, which is the fun part.
Right.
So they're recording a song. The song is "This Is Our Country." Gag me with a spoon. And
this is my call out. So I'm not gonna get into it right now.
So they recorded the verse. They recorded their verse. I kind of just want to talk about the like the quality of the lyrics for the girls. For me, and there is this. What I see is this continued theme, of course, for us to do. Like positive or like let's try to be like pseudo political with the song or whatever. But to me, the only verse that slapped was Raja O'Hara's.
Yes, but even like the structure and the melody of the song, it didn't really. Her lyrics were fire. The way she delivered it was fire. But like the structure of the song didn't really give her the opportunity to deliver it the way that it needed to be because it was so rushed.
Got you.
Like
I agree. It's 4 girls. These verses are really, really short very, 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 very short. And the song honestly wasn't. It's really not that good of a song.
It's a terrible song.
It's not a good song. I thought all the girls, the outfits were really questionable for it. The choreography was strange to me
because it's a terrible song.
It was a lot of white boys doing like typically coded, really aggressive hip hop dance moves,
but to a country
song. Track. So it was a lot of juxtaposition that I didn't think added to the art, but really took away, which made me believe that there was no intentionality behind it. Like, it is becoming more and more clear to me, right, that it's just not queer art happening, because queer art would not be this like vapid and opaque and like dense and flavorless.
Yes, this is some manufactured for a certain agenda art, if you want to call. I mean, it is art. However good or bad it is, it's still art.
Allegedly,
right? But it's like some manufactured, made for TV, made for to satiate, I guess, the majority white audience of the show, to make us feel good about a country that's shit.
and this is my thing.
Shit.
At this time. Right, what's going on in the world? Even this song, I think All Stars was probably recorded before season 13, because that's how I think the All Stars typically have to wait a while before they air. Yeah, because the outfit that she wore for the promo for this was the same outfit that she wore, I think, on Australia's.
She is in RuPaul.
RuPaul.
Okay.
So there's like an outfit duplication or whatever, but how, like, I don't know, tone deaf is not even, I don't even know if that's like sufficient enough, but like what's happening in the world right now, we're talking about like climate disaster, race wars, COVID-19 and you put out a song that's like, this is our country. Like, no, nobody's feeling that. That's not the energy. That's not the vibe. Did you miss something?
We are in Revelations right now. We are in the final book of the Bible. Like,
fire and brimstone.
The world is imploding, literally fire and brimstone in certain parts of the world. Like, California is on and has been on fire for a while at this point. Like, the whole West Coast.
Girl, in Dubai, they are sending literal weather machines up into the air to electrocute the clouds to make it rain. Because the drought there is just like the record high temperatures and no rain. And of course, Dubai is already just like kind of like environmentally, it's like one of the worst places ever, because like the land and the infrastructure is really not made for the amount of resources that that land is pulling for tourism and for rich people to have a little vacation.
Right.
It won't rain. So they're literally like electrocuting clouds. Like I'm
precipitation.
For precipitation.
For some moisture.
Just pussy dry. Just dry. With an Astroglide.
And it didn't have to be this way.
It didn't.
It didn't have to be this way.
I said Astroglide. That is not going to make it wet enough. I'm sorry.
But white people, white supremacy, and capitalism, you know, it has literally wrung the world dry.
That's
Quite
really
literally.
A good visual to give people. Shout out to you for that.
Like, it has wrung the world dry.
Ring it out, girl. Ring it out.
To the point where we're electrocuting clouds.
To the point where we are electrocuting clouds.
Girl.
I couldn't.
So let's talk about our overall thoughts of All-Star 6.
Great. For me, I was thoroughly underwhelmed.
I'm not gagging.
I do think this is a better season of All Stars in terms of like they cast girls who had a lot of personality, and a lot of them were like certain faves from different seasons. Like Akira, it's like a finale queen that people was very popular. Like Silky has a lot of is contentious, so there's like a lot of like social media stuff that can happen there. Ginger Minj is one of the top girls to ever leave the show. Eureka is one of the top girls to ever leave the show. Like the bitch is working for HBO. She was just on American Horror Story last week. Like the girl is booked. She's working. Raja O'Hara has our hearts, has everybody's hearts. To have Kylie on there, it did that, and to me, it was a lot more entertaining than All Stars 5. To me, and 4. So the drama was well produced, and whatnot. But all in all, I feel like that the overproduction of this becoming now like this television, like the RuPaul industrial complex, is really just starting to make it, to me, not really good TV, and it doesn't give me those like oochie coochie yummy queer feelings inside that it used to. It also feels very rushed. The pacing, everything feels so rushed because there's so much Drag Race to consume at one time, which makes it kind of difficult to really enjoy, and hold on to the moments. Like, to me, I remember when Sasha Velour let release the Roses, you know what I mean? People talked about that for a year. You know what I mean? Like that was something. Get Her Jade. Like, we talked about that episode in the drama. The moments, the singular moments, do not sustain. Silky's moment. Shout out to Silky. Like, they need to give her royalties on the episode. Yeah. Because that was the most entertaining moment to happen in the whole season. That really wasn't related to the story arc, really, because she did that and then thank you for entertaining us, black girl, and then off they sent her, which fits a very sadly a very typical and unoriginal narrative. We come out, we do the Daffy Duck, and then we leave.
Right. Which brings me to my point, is that the season was good as far as the queens go. The queens were awesome. There were a lot of queens where you probably didn't expect to see on All Stars, but they came and they delivered and they gave good art. Politically speaking, they kicked the anti-blackness into high gear this season.
I can agree.
They kicked it into high gear, like on a level where I was like, it can't get that bad for RuPaul's Drag Race, but it got that bad.
It will get worse.
And it's going to get worse, absolutely. As they get more audience, as they get more money, it's a requirement. It is a requirement for you to appease your white audience, that you have to be anti-black. You have to be racist. Like, that's what it is. That's been a thing historically. When there was, not to get on my nerd historical
please do
moment, but like when there was a huge influx of immigration in the 19th century, and they were facing immigrants from all over, were facing all this discrimination by nativist people who were already here, and they claim to have this land even though they occupied it when people were already here, and then they brought in enslaved populations to like sustain their labor force, but that's not what I'm talking about.
That's a read.
Right. They were facing all this discrimination, and the quickest way that they found to integrate, to be American, to integrate into whiteness, which is synonymous the same thing, was to be anti-black. They kicked the racism into high gear. They found out so quickly the quickest way that I can be American
was to treat niggas
hate
like
these
shit.
people.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew it, and they peeped it, and they knew it, and they got on board with it so very quickly. It's the same thing. The ideology is still the same when we talk about, television, especially RuPaul's Drag Race. The way that you gain an audience, the way that you can compete, you'll take from black culture, you'll take from blackness, but you would be so anti-black and disavow blackness at every turn that your white audience would be so intrigued by it that they have to tune in.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So they kicked that anti-blackness into high gear this season. From Raja being tied with Brooklyn Heights for that lip sync that she clearly won herself. That she clearly won herself. From the edit of Trinity early on in the season to make her look like she was crazy and overly emotional and doing too much, which I talked about in one of the earlier episodes, right? From Silky, dusting all of these bitches, and like still got dismissed from the competition, right? And that is 3 examples of the obvious anti-blackness that was happening this season.
Yeah, to me, it can be it is telling Trinity to edit and modify the way that they would like to talk about HIV on international television, which is a disease, an infection that disproportionately affects the community that she's from, black people, black, queer, trans people, to talk about, when she literally has the platform to grab this audience in, and to encourage them to combat stigma and to encourage health, You know what I mean? And you tell her people don't want to be preached to.
They don't want to be preached to.
That is anti-blackness.
It has to be performative. It has to be like you can't figure wag at them. I'm like, well, sometimes people need to be figure.
And is it finger wagging or is it really
informative?
Is it informative? Is it
Right.
encouraging? Is it really calling people in?
In a very unique and creative way, the way Trinity wanted to do it.
Anti-blackness is not anti-blackness. I had to make sure that y'all could hear it. Anti-blackness is not giving Trinity K. Bonet the win for giving the best Beyonce that we have ever seen in every season of Drag Race, of which there have been many.
Yes. And that was clearly the best
and
one.
giving Jen the win for a mediocre Gaga.
Hello. Anti-blackness is, and I know this is controversial, but I'm saying it anyway. Anti-blackness is giving Laganja Estranja that win over Trinity for doing all the kicks, dips, and splits that she did, which she did very well. And Trinity actually embodied a song, embodied a character, and performed it well.
And gave us storytelling.
That is what drag is.
Anti-blackness is just inviting Laganja back. I'm sorry. I said it.
Yes, mama. Yes, I am. Yes, mama.
I am. Yes, God.
We're doing all that.
I need to insert it right now. I can literally hear Homegirl from Azusa, which is really, really funny that Adore Delano was so confused by the way that Laganja was speaking. Because back home, you don't talk like that, girl. Because Adore
you did the same shit, bitch.
Adore do the same damn thing.
And don't get me.
Yeah. I'm ghetto. Yeah.
We talked about this rap challenge. We talked about the atrocity of that hip hop challenge on season 6.
I'm really surprised that they haven't deleted the episode, because
it should be taken down.
Drag Race has deleted episodes. The episode that's the same season as season 7, right? Or
season 6.
That's season 6. Do you remember when they did the makeover challenge and Jocelyn Fox made up that black guy who was very, very clearly uncomfortable and homophobic as fuck?
Yes.
The episode is not available for streaming online. The episode is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should
absolutely
get rid of the rap challenge.
And as blatant as the anti-blackness was, at least to the trained eye, I guess, of season 6.
If you would like to get your eye trained, please email us at dragfromtheleft@gmail.com. we do paid trainings.
Yes, we do. We do that.
Okay.
But as obvious as it was for season 6, or for All-Star 6, that episode of season 6, I don't remember what it was, but it was a hip hop challenge of season 6. That is so very blatantly racist and like disgusting. Like, it's hard to watch. It is the worst episode of Drag Race ever.
It is an entire minstrel show of like, we can write dissertations. Okay. We can write theses on this.
We can write one each.
Okay.
About this one episode.
And then go back, expound upon, and like have it re-edited into a volume 2, 3, and 4.
Right. Like,
dude, should I print it in hard copy or paperback?
I can do both.
Okay.
Because it sucks.
Who's writing the epilogue? I just need to know.
It is terrible. But yeah, so politically speaking, this season sucked, which really puts a damper on the momentous kind of art we got from Raja D. O'Hara and Skylie Soling Love and Anna Kiria, who ate that runway, which she never got credit for, which is also a form of anti-blackness.
Because we don't give her, first off, every season someone gets labeled the fashion queen. And I really want to know. I'd like to know that. I really like to know that as to why Akiria has not gotten the credit and praise and the reward for coming down the runway in those looks. The minute she walked in, her entrance look was finale worthy to me.
Yes. Can you imagine what her finale looked like? Her and Trinity. I want to see both of them.
Well, Trinity did show her finale look, and Trinity's finale look was not her best look, because the frills runway and that beautiful burnt salmon, that was her finale look. But she said the other girls started pulling their clothes out, and she didn't think that her outfit that she brought for frills was like comparing to a lot of the girls, and she wanted to at least be safe. So she switched to her finale look, knowing that look was gorgeous.
It was so
which
good.
That outfit didn't get the credit it deserved either. That was like black excellence. Like, I literally insert Lorianne Gibson cussing the fuck out of those dance moms. You can't even taste it because you don't know what it's like. You don't even know.
You don't even know. But y'all choose to big up someone like Eureka O'Hara, who did well And as a bitch that don't like her, I can even say she did well. But it was pretty middle of the road. It wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't anything great. You got HBO money, bitch. You should be out here serving like.
Okay. She put it some places, but it was a lot of places where it didn't end up. You know what I mean? And I just, it didn't have the thought behind it that a lot of the other things, you know.
Again, and I said this a few episodes ago, Eureka came in knowing she was going to skate by on her personality, and she was going to get all the way to the end, and it worked.
Yeah. Akira, when she came out as that, was that hibiscus flower or whatever flower that she was.
Whatever. And then she ended up in the bottom.
And then ended up in the bottom in that, if you go home, at least you went home looking like that.
Fuck that. That runway should have kept. Do the runways matter?
It's a question. Does it?
Do the runways matter? Because like if they do, that look should have kept her out the bottom.
Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
I ask you.
I ask you.
Is it a coincidence?
I like, again, I'd really like to know that.
I would like to know that. Like, do they matter at this point? And that's the conversation that's been happening among Drag Race discourse for the past couple seasons, is do the runways actually matter?
And when do they not matter?
For what queen do they matter for?
Exactly. Well, we already know that the rubric is not there is no rubric. It is not standardized. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I cannot go back and recite the question because it is all just not very clear.
Which is a form of anti-blackness as well. Because if Eureka had performed poorly in the challenge, they came in a sickening runway comparable to what Akira came out in that flower look, that would have saved her from the bottom. And they would have said, you did poorly, but this runway is fire.
Well, how many times did the runway save Gigi Good from the bottom in her season? She never lip synced to the end.
Child. And Gigi should have been in the bottom at least twice.
At least twice.
I
mean, she came in twice looking like a colonialist, like slave owner. She like 2 times she wore them damn outfits. And I like Gigi. I really like Gigi.
She looked like she was on the opposite side of Gabriel's rebellion. She looked like she was on the opposite side of the Stoner rebellion. She looked like a slave, an enslaver.
Twice. And those outfits.
And did it proudly. And then went on to film with James Charles and one of them other racists.
She couldn't help it.
Gurus.
She couldn't help it.
All at the same time of being in the same house as Simone.
Poor baby. Don't let.
And that's your sister. That's your good girlfriend.
Y'all, you know, y'all buddy. But again, the examples are many, and they just keep pouring out. Like, come on, let's keep going. I'm just like, when does it cross the line? You know, does it cross the line?
Is there a line? Does Drag Race have a line at this point?
And it's so difficult because I understand, and I don't know if Rue notices this. Maybe he does and just doesn't care. But if you are a person that is frequently in conversation with other queer people, there is a large cohort of individuals that are divesting in the RuPaul's Drag Race industrial complex.
Oh, yes. More and more every day.
And I mean, it's like bundles and bundles of people that are just like, no, I haven't watched that since season 8. Like, white folk is starting to not. Yeah. White queer folk is starting to. I don't watch that. I mean, we're in community with one of the most prolific drag queens to exist living in the country, in my opinion. And she ain't like she not pressed to go watch the episode.
She only knows about Drag Race because she listens to this podcast.
Pretty much. Thank you for listening. But it's just like, so many people are divesting. The people that the show could really benefit, the show that the people could hold and to hold space for, are not participating. You know what I mean? How about the talent? Like, none of the girls from here, not the girls, not the girls, they ain't been on.
No.
And we know for a fact that here in the city of Cleveland that we got some of these queens,
most sickening drag
queens. Let's just say by name.
Country.
Dakota Cox, like, come on, girl. You know what I mean? Jolie Black.
What's Sasha's
Peach
last
Fuzz.
name?
I just cannot.
I forget Sasha's last
Ms.
name.
Rahi.
Sasha, that bitch performs. Carly Red Diamond.
They just keep coming. Come on, even the white girls. Peach Fuzz out here doing the damn thing. Anadonia Delight doing the thing.
Eating. Who was a very attractive boy, by the way.
Girl, I saw her on Scruff the other day, child, and I just had to let her know. I just had to let Anna know. I'm like, you ain't gotta whoop me back, baby. I just want you to know.
I just want you to know you fine, girl.
I just want you to know. Talk about they About Me section is established drag queen in the city of Cleveland. I know that's why you better let them know up front.
I have a funny story about this, but I'll tell you off air.
Ooh. Tune in to Patreon for an exclusive conversation.
When we get one.
When we get one soon. But you can follow Avery's. I think this is a good time to take a quick break. Yeah. And we'll be right back. See y'all in a minute.
Okay.
You're listening to Drag from the Left with Juanita Bindum and Avery Ware. We'll be right back after this break. We're back to Drag from the Left. If you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, or asexual, this is your home. This is your home. Now your hosts, Juanita Bindum and Avery Ware.
We done pretty much just went through this whole little just boom, boom, boom about how all they be on bullshit. It is bullshit. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about like the final 10 minutes of the episode, which are the ones that really matter: the performance, the runway, the decision.
Yes.
Because I think that'll tie us back into some more political conversation.
Yes. And I don't want to be too presumptuous here. But that, and if it came down to that final, episode of who was going to win, say it was a toss up and it was anybody's game at that point, because it kind of was. Raja D. O'Hara won that last episode, so she should have got the crown. And I'm not saying that because we were rooting for Raja the whole season, but like her verse was sickening, and she ate the video. Her final runway was gorgeous that she made herself, and her final lip sync, I think she won. I think it. You can make an argument for her or Kylie Sonique Love, but I do think she won. I think she ate. Stupid Love is a very stupid song for a final lip sync. It's a good lip sync song, but for the final one, it's like,
I think if I'm doing the math right,
mm-hmm.
if I'm doing the math right, Raja would have one more win than she has,
mm-hmm.
because I would have given Raja episode 1, over
the dress in 30 seconds.
The dress in 30 seconds over those just plastic titties just running around everywhere. That just for me.
Yeah.
I would have given her that. I also would not have put Raja in the bottom on the witch on that acting episode when it was like the American Horror Story. She would have been safe. And Kylie would not have won that.
Who would have won it?
Anybody else. That wasn't good. It was not good. And the fact that we continue to lie is transphobic, because we shouldn't hype her up to make her believe that she's doing good at something that she is not. That's a setup for failure.
Talk about it. It's very tokenizing in a way.
And it only serves to benefit white folk, cis folk, like mainstreamed folk.
Look what we did. We gave the trans girl a win.
But then people, we watched this happen. This is all the nonprofits in Cleveland, by the way. And I don't mean to attack y'all, but y'all hire a lot of people that are underqualified underneath the guise of saying that you are hiring people from untraditional backgrounds so that you can make them believe that you couldn't get this anywhere else. So you should do what we tell you to do, because this opportunity is special that we have given to you.
I have been job searching for the past.
They won't give it to you if you know better.
At this point. And when I'm not going to name the organization, but I went in this interview and I killed it. They told me as much. That's how I know. Like, one of the interviewers said I gave her chills because I did so well. And then I got passed over for the job.
And you will, unfortunately, time and time again until the right thing comes around, because they won't. That's when I realized that when I really started giving it to these bitches, when I started giving it to them, that's when I was getting the kind of the type of response. When you cross the line of just being that special black person for them, and when you let them know that you coming in with an agenda, child, it's
you threatening, and you too smart, and you are gonna and that's
they hire people that's intentionally that to manipulate them, and then they hire people that are that are not quite there. And while they're there, they don't provide them with any opportunity to grow, to be beyond, because they want to keep manipulating them.
Yeah, and they want to pay them less.
Yeah, so I just be like, okay, girl, and this is why I be asking all types of pay transparency questions. I want to know what's budgeted in the grant document for the role, not what you go offer me.
Right.
What's budgeted in the document? Because the finances for this position was created long before the description was. How much are you allowed to pay me?
Child.
Because that's how much I want.
I just applied for a job last week, I think, And of course, they didn't put the salary in the description,
which I think should be illegal.
right? But they asked you what your minimum was, and I just put it's flexible. I said flexible or negotiable. I said something along those lines. So then they got back to me and they said, you know, we love your application. Your resume is great, but you put flexible under your required payment. What we need an answer. So like, instead of you just putting the salary in the budget, you want me to give you a number so I can price myself out. Like,
price yourself out or under, you know,
yeah, or under. So you give yourself justification for paying me under. And bitch, and again, I'm not one of those people who are like, I'm not classist because I have a master's degree, but I worked for a master's degree, huh? Like, I have years and years and years on a high level experience. So you need to pay me what I'm worth.
Yeah. So when I'm negotiating and divvying up all the wins, I probably would have given Snatch Game to Kylie though.
Yes.
But if we're going to talk about it, like this is why I want Drag Race to be judged like a real competition where it's like, yes, the spirit and the soul count up, you know, matters, but let's give an honest
Who
answer.
did the best?
Who did the best? Like, there is a skill set that we're judging here.
Yes.
Who did the best? Who was the most creative? Who pushed the boundaries? Who really performed in a way that made you feel something? You know what I mean? Who told the story?
Yeah.
Who did it? Who tried a silhouette that we hadn't seen before? Who did that? So I think if you add it up, and there's all these different systems out there that different bloggers, YouTubers, and content creators have come up with to judge the episodes based upon like historic information and decisions from Drag Race. And if we add it up, if like the win gets this and the blah, 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 Raja has the best track record of anybody in the competition that's there now or was eliminated in terms of wins in the middles and losses and then lip syncs. So to me, on paper, Raja wins, but also in that final performance, Raja wins. Her verse was the only one that really finessed that whack beat that what was that beat? What was that beat?
Song, period.
So she was the only one to me that finessed a beat that was just like not even beaten. And then her lyrics was actually about something, which is another reason I feel like they tried to like, they don't want you to say nothing because why would they give you 2 seconds to talk? You know, and she did not get enough credit for really just calling out anti-blackness and police accountability and personal lived experience in that song. She called it out.
She said, you want me to make a song about our country in air quotes, but not address the things that are actually happening in my communities and to people that look like me? And she did that very boldly on a program of RuPaul's Drag Race where they try to depoliticize all of this and they cozy up to American politeness culture, which we have talked about multiple times throughout the season, to pacify all the bullshit that is happening in this country. But Raja D. O'Hara very courageously was like, no, I'm going to say something that matters.
She didn't get the crown. And we could argue that choice could be an implication for why she didn't win. We can argue that because if she does that verse and then they give her the crown, that is a validation to what she said.
Yeah,
that is
agreement. And RuPaul's Drag Race is not going to cross that line.
Do you think
they want to toe that line?
Do you think you could go on there and then say the type of things that even any other thing, the girls leave the show and then they talk? You know what I mean?
Right.
If they say that there. Who has said that there and then won?
Prime example of when you speak truth to power and you get blackballed and harassed, the vixen.
Yeah. So I'd like to see the trajectory. What I'm looking for is the next 6 months. Who is hiring Raja? Where is Raja showing up? Which management is she signed up with? Who is her collabs rolling out with? Where's the photo shoots, the clothing, the this, the all the things that the trajectory of the Bob the Drag Queens and the Bianca Del Rios. I want to see the trajectory of that queen.
Yes, because she performed on that level.
I want to know. She's stunning. She has a complex understanding of the world. She has a story. She's beautiful. She has the work ethic. She's a workhorse. The girl works.
And she is talented on multiple fronts.
You get this phone call and you have 14 days to get ready. She sold every single one of those.
One of her
every
garments.
single thing except one.
Spent what, $600?
$600.
When girls go into debt, 6-figure debt behind 5-figure debt behind the show.
So yeah, so bam, bam, bam. The girls are coming down the runway. I will say that in a whole, I was underwhelmed with the finale runways as a collective when I compare them to previous finale runways from All Stars.
Right.
I'm not going to do I'm not going to compare it to the main season because they're performing for a different type of stage.
Yes.
And then the time is different. They get to go home, make some money, and then come back.
Yeah. You come
so that's
back
different.
already.
So you had to arrive with this.
Yeah.
But let's just think back to All Stars 2. Detox's final look holds up today.
One of my faves.
In that beige, it's almost tone on tone because she beige. You know what I mean?
Right.
With that fascinator, with the yellow pixie cut, the white and the platinum blonde and yellow pixie cut.
Don't get me started. I can stand.
She ate that final lip sync up, Detox. Now that's a white queen I will go up for.
Same. And one of the only ones.
Detox.
I love me some Detox. And still to this day, I don't care what nobody says. That is still my All Stars 2
winner, baby. Detox whipped that
is still my winner.
And in my opinion, it should have been her and Alyssa Edwards fighting for the crown. That's how I feel. And I'm not changing my mind about it. It should have been her and Alyssa fighting for the crown. It would. And Alaska knows she dead wrong. Alaska knows she dead wrong.
In Alaska, and like not to take anything away from Alaska, because she did perform very well on season 2.
She ate.
And that final lip sync, like she did what needed to be done because it was actually good. But again, we all have a preference, and my preference was Detox.
Period. Detox thought she won too. Detox was like, I did the math. I won. I was like, I don't disagree, girl.
Right. And then, but nobody gives her that credit. It was like, oh, Katya was robbed. Katya was a wonderful drag
but
queen.
her petticoat was like 6 inches shorter than the outer dress. Like, come on now, girl.
That final look was not to the level of what Alyssa and Detox walked down that
The petticoat
runway.
didn't hit the floor. Come on now, that's minimum. If the petticoat don't hit the floor, then you cut the dress to match the length of the petticoat. I couldn't understand the spillover. It didn't do it.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me either.
Let's reminisce for a little bit on All Stars 3. Shangela's look, sickening.
Woo!
Sickening.
They did her so
sickening.
wrong.
Even Trixie came out in that black ball gown, just like I was like, okay, Trixie.
Yeah, that was cute.
In that poodle wig.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see Trixie in black very often at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there you go. All Stars 4. All of those finale dresses for All Stars 4.
Naomi Smalls.
That was a gown.
That's one of the, and I know people say this all the time, but that's one of the best shit that ever walked down that.
And she still gave you leg.
Runway.
She was like, I'm going to give you a full ball gown because that's what this deserves, but I am the leg.
Yes.
And you will get this leg.
And when we went to Work the World,
She
did
gave
the
it.
same thing.
She
Like
gave
with
it.
that gag, I'm not gonna say it because I had to be there.
You got to buy your ticket, pay for your ticket.
Oh my goodness, it was so fucking good.
And you know what? Quick shout out to Naomi Smalls for being more than what they want you to be. I think there is some progression that can happen in the politic, at least the way that it's presented to the world. Maybe she feels a lot different, but you know, it gives me very like I suck a lot of white dick, which is fine. That's your tea.
That's most of the black girls on RuPaul's
Yeah,
Drag Race.
but I'm gonna tell you this: she can perform. She is a good
she
performer.
eats.
She's not just beautiful.
She eats.
She is beautiful and she performs.
There was a strong argument for her actually winning All Stars 4, which I kind of agree with.
Yeah, I could have bought it.
So-
Trinity's gown was stunning, and Monet coming down in that African print.
Oh, they all look beautiful.
With that
Now that I think
updo.
about it, yes.
Even
They all look beautiful.
Monique's dress was my least favorite, but still was stunning.
It was still wonderful.
And then if I go to All Stars 5, Shea Coulee in that beautiful pink with that huge beehive updo, which is also very part of black culture. That updo, you know, if a girl got that updo, that she just either was a bridesmaid,
I'm getting emotional.
going to church.
Just thinking about it. I forgot about it, but you just brought it back
Oh,
to me.
the pink dress is so emotional, and it was
and
the
then her story
scale
behind it too.
It was the scale of the dress. This is nothing I want to talk about. The silhouettes are not dramatic enough to read
Talk
on
about
conversation to read on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I need high color contrast. I need the mermaid. If it's going to be mermaid, it needs to be the mermaid. If the waist is going to be cinched, it needs to be the cinched.
Yeah,
if it's going to be a
volume.
tit, it needs to be high.
Proportions.
Volume, contrast in color, movement. We need drama from the outfits. They can't be, this is not season 2. You know what I mean? It can't be a mall gown from glitter. Like, it got to be something else. You can't be giving Charmin Charlie's. I'm sorry. It can't do that. It doesn't read. Who else is dressed? Jujubee. That was
gorgeous.
That was so stunning. And to be completely honest, Cracker's dress was absolutely stunning. I don't think it looked good on Cracker. I think the proportion of the dress was a little off for the stature and size of Cracker's body.
Raja said on Fashion Photo Review that they don't buy what Miss Cracker is selling. It seems like everything that she puts on her body is made for something else, and she doesn't like the clothes wear her. That she doesn't wear the clothes.
It happens often,
and I firmly agree with that. I don't think she should have made it to the finale. It should have been Alexis Mateo in the final 3. I didn't believe Miss Cracker. I don't think she really did that.
It is
well.
something. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I think Cracker to me is a bit more. I'm a bigger fan of Cracker's drag than I am of Jan's drag, but I think Cracker and Jan have the same problem when they're wearing really, really stunning drag that does not lend itself to their character. So, anybody can come in there with like a latex this or a stoned that or a fringe this, but does it really lend itself to the persona of your drag character? Does it lend itself to your movement quality? Does it lend itself there is?
Does it speak to the core of your artistry?
Yeah.
Does it do that?
Like,
do you know what that is?
Right. So it doesn't tell that. It doesn't tell that story.
It doesn't.
Like when Jujubee came down in that look, it was emotional.
Yes.
Because that outfit was made for Jujubee.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So when I look at these dresses, to me the only dress that fit for me in the scale and the drama was Eureka's, but I didn't like the dress. So there's two different points. So the dress, that was a finale gown. That was a finale dress, but I did not like the way that it looked on Eureka. I think that purple is really not a good color for her in that way. And I do think that the seaming, to do a drop waist gown on the way that she sent, she needed to actually be more square. Because those drop waist dresses are designed to make you almost waistless, right? You're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be like that. So it was a little off. And if it also felt like it was giving something that wasn't Eureka. I would have rather seen Eureka come down in the finale in the outfit that she wore for her entrance. That I would have bought. Yeah. Or she could have wore she honestly could have wore the outfit that she wore in her performance, which I really was not understanding, the Marie Antoinette and America and the This Is My Country. I was like, the history is not historying. I'm confused. Like,
it doesn't make any
where's
sense.
The annotated bibliography? Where's the citations, parenthetical citations? I'm not
talking about there's no hierarchy. Like, girl, we live in America. It was built off hierarchy.
I'm so confused. So that dress, my least favorite dress was Kylie Sonique's Loves, and it wasn't just because it was short, because I think a short dress can give finale energy if done correctly, but the dress was really pedestrian. The sunglasses to me took it down, did not bring it up.
Kind of costuming.
And I'm not a fan of anything with the American flag on it. I said it. It makes me think racist.
Yeah.
The American flag to me reads as a racist symbol.
It is a racist
It might as well
symbol.
be the Confederate flag. It's no difference, not to me.
Not to me. If I see an American flag hanging from somebody's truck,
I'd be like, oh, I'm not going over there.
Racism screams.
Just shouts from the mountaintops.
I get lynch ropes.
It's really what it's serving. It's really giving, pick up a bundle of sticks to walk them to your own inferno, set them on fire and die. That's really what I feel. Sorry, we'll add a trigger warning into this, but I'm just saying it's giving very chattel slavery to me.
It's giving cotton picking.
Yeah, it's giving cotton gin. It's giving it all.
It's giving sugar plantation.
That's the only thing I feel.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of sugar plantations in America, but whatever.
You know
what I was saying.
People should understand.
So,
I wasn't, in the words of Rod.
It wasn't my favorite either. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
In the words of Raja O'Hara, I'm not gagging.
I wasn't.
So the only other dress that I thought looked stunning was Raja O'Hara's. Ginger Minch looked great. It's just an ugly dress, though. It's
just ugly.
It's an impeccably made dress that I thought looked ugly. For me, I think it's an ugly dress. It's
Okay.
all these little hankies. Like, I don't understand all these little. I don't get it. But then the hankies aren't like soft and flowy. They're like stiff and rigid. So it's
They
like
were stiff.
They're like
They were
stiff
stiff.
and rigid. So it's kind of like
There was no movement.
It reminded me of being like 12 years old, chronically masturbating and wiping it up with Kleenex tissues that then got hard. Like, that's what it was giving me. It was giving me crack the blanket in half. That's literally what it was giving me. It was giving me, I just got beat up and gay bashed on the playground, so now I'm black and blue. Like, it was like the color palette was giving bruised. The texture of the gown was giving ejaculated in Kleenex. That's what it did for me. I did appreciate the fact that Ginger had on a real high heel shoe, and I wanted those ugly space boots. I could appreciate the effort that was put into that dress. And to me, that's what they said on Fashion Photo Review. They was like, oh, for Ginger, when anybody says this is for Ginger, for Avery, for Alex, like that's a read.
There's a tender shade in there.
There's shade, like for me, for you, like, girl.
Yeah.
Raja, on the other hand, I would have made one correction to Raja's look, and I wish that the hair that she wore in the finale lip sync was the hair that she wore with that dress.
Okay.
Because that was a very classic drop. And not that, and let me get y'all together before you try to read. Get yourself together before you try to read. It is not that textured hair is unprofessional. That's not what I'm saying. Because that other hair was also black. It wasn't giving white girl texture.
Right.
Straight hair is not just white people or black people. Straight hair, like looked like a black girl straightened hair. I love the texture of that weave and that second hair. But the way that hair to me gave me more. The styling of it didn't give me as much romance as that curl that she wore in the hair that she lip synced in. The hair that she lip synced in was perfectly curled and tousled and had this stunning movement off the face, sculpted at the front with those Marcel kind of big curls. I really liked that. But that purple looked stunning on her. The makeup was right. The body's always right.
Body's always
And she
right.
gave you that sickening ass, stanky ass walk.
And that leg.
I have not seen anybody stomp down a runway like Raja O'Hara.
She walked.
I'm like looking back in like my catalog of Drag Race runway walks, because there are some girls that I really like how they walk. Believe it or not, I like Jasmine Masters' walk. Jasmine Masters walk really, really well in high heel shoes, and Jasmine always has on a really, really, really high heel. I like the way Jasmine walks in heels. I like the way Katya walks in heels. To me, I feel like Katya just gives me woman. I'm a fan of Katya's drag. It's a little. We know what her drag is, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the way Detox walks. Detox can walk in one of those dresses that holds you real tight around the ankles, like you don't got no room, but can like still walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Raja's walk is nothing like it.
Something to be marveled.
It's
Like,
even when RuPaul had to shut his mouth and then open his mouth, because he'd be like, oh my God. He'd be like, girl, I want to steal that walk. And I'm gonna be right now. If RuPaul got some weird type of steal your powers energy, Raja, beware, because she will take it.
yeah.
Don't let her touch you.
She got that colonizer energy.
Don't let her touch you, because she'll take it and you'll never get it back. Yeah, she needs, if you can patent a walk, girl, you better
Raja needs to get on that shit.
Okay, fill out the paperwork. So
Quickly.
and then if we move into the final lip sync, Eureka and
There's only two that's worth talking about.
yeah,
in
so
my
Eureka's
opinion.
eliminated. That lip sync didn't give. It's the same
Done.
chick that she always do. And Ginger Minj didn't have a black girl to make fun of, so the lip sync was mediocre.
T.
So it was giving nothing. Also, the lip sync outfit was like, okay,
That's
girl,
what you chose?
for real?
Okay.
Choices. Thank you, Tatiana. And so the only two lip syncs that was lip syncing was Kylie and Raja.
Yes.
I like that Raja held it out for a little bit before she started.
Yeah. She built it
She
up.
built it. This is my thing, and this is going to be my comment. Kylie tripped. Kylie saved it. But do we award the girl who made a mistake and recovered, or the girl who made no mistakes at all? I just want to know.
Well, now.
I just want to know.
You talking good now?
That's what I would like to know.
I would like to know that.
Compared to any
I would
other
really
art
like to
form.
know
So a
that.
ballerina, she does her leap across the stage and she does not land, but she recovers and she does a good performance. But what about the girl who makes no error and but also still has the soul and gives it to you?
What about the Simone Biles of it all?
Yeah, I want to
No flaws.
no flawless. That's what I want to know.
Because that's what Raja gave. and impeccably.
And then they were talking about that
great.
they didn't like her bodysuit. I was like,
Her bodysuit looked wonderful.
the bodysuit was fine.
It looked wonderful, and that cover that coat that went over it.
It was
gorgeous. as well.
I was great. And when now y'all might not catch this if y'all don't know about black stuff, but when she started J-setting and she did the shimmy,
yeah,
you saw that shimmy?
that was on purpose.
Oh yeah, because that's what that outfit
that's
is
what
for.
the outfit gives.
She was
Yes.
giving black girl drill team hip shake.
But when you are not culturally attuned to those things, you miss it. And you
I
devalue it because you missed
Gagged
it.
when they tried. I forget which review show tried to plan and she tried to do this little shimmy. She tried.
Raja didn't try to do anything this season. Raja did.
Raja did, and Raja played and what do you call it? Just like the elegance in which she lost, which I hate to speak, but I wish she should have caused the scene. But like she really gave like, I know that I'm a winner. She knows.
She should have Crystal LeBeja.
Yeah. Okay. Legendary. I have a right to show my color.
No, because I really do think, as I said earlier, she deserved to win.
Yeah.
That last episode, she won.
Yeah.
Through and through.
And I don't know. This is the first time that I don't know. I guess they didn't give God Mick the win. So it is what it is. I am not disappointed to see
I'm
Kylie
very
as a
happy
winner.
that Kylie Sonique Love won.
Kylie did not really get to show their us really who they were on their original season.
Right.
And on this season, I got to see really good drag. I got to know Kylie. When she introduced herself to us was a beautiful moment. You can call me Kylie. My friends
All
do.
my friends do.
All my friends do. Her entrance line, you got female. Gag.
Everything.
You know.
I'm so happy she won.
Yeah. And her lip sync against the way that she just destroyed Manila literally did it for me.
And like it was almost like kind of effortless. Like when she saw Manila, she was just like, "Okay, I got this."
She didn't even give. I'm telling you right now that she didn't even give what she could have gave.
Oh no, it's like she like held back to not.
She was like, "I'm gonna do a little split. I'll give him one backflip, maybe."
And looked gorgeous.
And her titties never fell out.
I'm about to say, how did that top stay where it was?
I don't know what type of glue
what type
or
of tape is that? But if you want to patent some shit, that's some shit you should patent.
Take some notes from her. Okay,
she flipped and split.
Everything
and
stayed where it was supposed to be. The wig didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Eureka wig sliding back, and she barely ain't done it, just sliding back the whole time.
She ain't even doing shit.
She ain't doing shit. Oh God! So congratulations to Kylie Sonique Love on your win. Congratulations to Raja O'Hara for giving such a you showed us how you go to a competition and you give a competition.
You showed us what it said, and I loved her final speech where she said she walked into season 11. She was kind of like a rock, and then she had to go through the press.
Narrative, mama.
Come on, you better tell the story.
She was mixing it.
And then she came back, and she was still kind of hard, but through the competition, she got pressed into that diamond, and now this is what you have. I loved it because like that's kind of what it was. She came in season 11 and as a competitor, and then she came in All-Star 6 like, I'm that girl, and I'm just here to let y'all know that I am.
Yeah, I'm competing with me, and just so you know, I'm quite fierce competition.
Yeah, very that.
Just so you know,
y'all can catch up. I've been here for
already.
Welcome. I've been here. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, and you know who else has been here? We've been here, and you all have been here. I like to thank you all for riding with us through season 1, through season 2, through Mixed Juneteenth. We still feel the love. We still feel the support. For all transparency's sake, we are aware that we have kind of been sparse a little bit lately.
Yes, this has been a wild year.
It's been a lot going on this year, and we are persisting. We're going to continue to give you content, and we appreciate you all for riding with us. But this is the finale episode for season 2.
Yes.
And we are excited to begin our planning and execution of a even better season 3. We keep just upping the ante. So season 3 is, stick with us. We're really excited about that. Also, please follow us online at Drag From The Left. That's DRAGFTL, because we will be putting out some little special gems every couple weeks for you all as we're waiting for season 3. So you won't have to miss us too much,
Yeah, we'll be around. And I just want to echo your sentiments. I want to thank all the listeners for riding with us. This is the first year that we've been doing this. We started beginning of January.
Yep.
And we have produced 2 wonderful seasons, in my opinion.
I never thought I would have a podcast.
Me either. And people was always saying, like, you were saying to me all the time, like, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to do YouTube. Like, you need to do this thing. And then I just got this idea randomly on a Wednesday afternoon, and I called you and we recorded on that.
I'm going to tell you,
Sunday.
Avery is so unoriginal. Because let me
Like-
tell you how many times they done this to me. Call me on a Wednesday, talk about let's do the thing, and I'm like, okay, do it, we doing it. Mixed Juneteenth was like that.
That happened twice. That happened for this podcast, and that happened on Miss June.
It's a pattern. It's a pattern.
I just be having these ideas, and I'm just like, so we got to do this because it just came to me.
Well, honestly, if not now, when?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be the change you want to see in the world.
To be completely
I don't fucking-
honest, this has been one of the something that's kind of like kept me going through this like second year of pandemic. You know, it is, y'all know, out here it can be rough to kind of even get up and want to brush your teeth some days, and to record a podcast takes way more energy than brushing your teeth.
Yeah, it's a lot more than us coming to the studio and just talking behind the mic.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot that goes into it beforehand,
During and after.
During and after. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but we actually enjoy this. We love drag, and we love adding the socio-political context to it.
And running our fucking mouth.
And running our mouths and talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like,
This is literally all we talk about. I mean, old Houses of Atlanta, because it's kind of, we'll do an episode of
Yeah, that might be a filler
special
episode.
episode. We could talk about the historical anti-blackness, trans, and homophobia that exists on that show. But we're going to do that. I also like you all to feel free to reach out to us during our break. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want to see. You can tweet us using hashtag drag from the left. You can at us using hashtag or at drag from the left. You can also email us at dragfromtheleft@gmail.com, but spell it all the way out.
Yes.
Spell it all the way out for the email. And we are looking so forward to this continued relationship that we have with you all. So without further ado, this is the end of season 2.
Yes, thank y'all so much. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Go back, listen to season 1, listen to season 2. And we will be back in we have some filler episodes.
So we'll see y'all in a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll see y'all in the new year for season 3.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Drag from the Left.
Drag FTL?
Yes, my love, we have fun, but we do discuss socio-political issues from a radical leftist perspective. And the goal of the show is to educate our community about radical black feminist politics in the hope of liberating our hearts and minds. We are artists, activists, and educators. We hope you had fun, and we hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at DragFTL. Till next time.